Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Nyame. So today I'm going to reveal to you the tech or the mystery behind phone orientation. Phone orientation in the sense that when you move your phone from landscape to portrait or from portrait to landscape, that's from portrait is the vertical, landscape is the horizontal. We do this all the time. Even our apps decide it for us sometimes. There are some apps that are used in portrait mode and can also be used in the landscape mode. But there's some apps that are just landscape, like games. Most of our games are mostly landscape games, except for some other games like chess and some other games. We also have landscape chess, so it depends. Now today I'm going to today I'm going to reveal to you the mystery and the tech behind the phone orientation. And it will surprise you. The answer might surprise you because it's something you know of, something you have heard of very well, but you not just be like, you not have just questioned it. So you all know that we can change our phone orientation. That's everything. That's something that everybody knows. That we can change our phone orientation from landscape to portrait. We also have some apps that use what they call the compass apps that have these four cardinal points with the north, south, east, west. That anywhere you go, is navigating it for you like a compass. So we have apps. Most of the iPhones have this compass that once you move, it navigates through it. So I'm going to explain what is the tech behind that. So, because it's basically the same thing. It's the same tech that's responsible for that. The same device that's responsible for the GPS, for your tracking and location and everything on your phone. Have you ever asked yourself, what if one of your friends just come with a silly question like, "Hey friend, so please, we have been using the phone for a while and this orientation, and did you even know how it works? How does this stuff work? Like, how is it able to change from vertical? How can your phone change from vertical to horizontal, from this to that?" And your friend and you'll be like, it's because of the, it's because of the, it's because of, as a third person, these are some things that you should know and be familiar with. That's why I'm making this video for you. So if you don't know and you're watching this video, thanks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So let's continue. Do you know why your phones can still be tracked even without the use of GPS, or when you turn off your location, or you use GPS, or you turn off your GPS and blah 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 and service cables and stuff like that? Well, you know why your phones can still be tracked? If you have heard from researchers, you'd have heard that phones can still be tracked without the use of their GPS or network cables or location when you turn off your location. It's because of this same device, this same mystery that I've not said yet, that makes it work. And it's one that determines all your movements. It calculates all your speed, where you go, each direction. It knows it, and that is called an accelerometer. Some people call it a vibration sensor. Some people call it electromechanical sensor. Yeah, it's not actually the electromechanical sensor. So it is called what, the accelerometer or accelerometer sensor. Accelerometer is a device, obviously, that measures acceleration. So what is acceleration? Acceleration is the change in motion, or in physics terms, change in velocity over time. So acceleration in let me give it in English terms, in like in normal terms for you to understand, is the change in motion with time. But according to physics, it's change in velocity over time. Now what is velocity? Velocity is the change in displacement with time. Velocity is change displacement over time, or change in investment over time. So accelerometer is the device that is used to measure acceleration. Yes, acceleration is the change in velocity over time. Accelerometer, now velocity is the change in displacement over time. So that's change in motion with time. That's because velocity being the change in motion. So displacement can also be the change in accelerometer in simple terms. Accelerometer is just a device used to measure, or a tool used to measure acceleration. Accelerometer is a device used to measure acceleration. Now that we have the picture of accelerometer in our heads and we understand what accelerometer is, well, so now that we have the picture of accelerometer in our hand, now let's go to accelerometer sensor, which is the MPU 6050, which is what is an accelerometer sensor with a gyroscope. It comprises of both an accelerometer and a gyroscope. Once you have an accelerometer and a gyroscope together, those two devices together can track your phone and track your location. So once it's access, give them access to your location. So without the GPS, without service cables, and without internet, your phone can still be tracked. An MPC 050 sensor is a sensor that comprises of both accelerometer and a gyroscope. A gyroscope is also what I call a motion sensor that is used to track the motion of your phone. So in accelerometers, if you watch DIY videos regularly or you watch other YouTubers make it, you'd have seen them use this MPU 6050 sensor. It's a very common sensor among DIY builders that make Arduino project or make RC cars. There's a guy, there's this DIY builder guy which made a gesture controlled Arduino robots, which use his hand gesture and hand movement to control the robot. And you would have seen him use the MPU 6050 sensor in the transmitter, while in the receiver, the tra- we add it to part of we add it to the sensors with the radio frequency transmitter, and in the receiver we have everything. So and the microchip that will understand the information. So the MPU 6050 there is working like a tracker. Once it bends its hand to a particular direction, the car moves that way. If it bends down, it moves that way. So that's the kind of same chip that we have in our phones when we carry it around. So I'll leave a link in the description for you to watch the full video of the DIY building. So the main question and the main reason why you guys are watching this video: how does it work? How does the accelerometer work? How does the gyroscope, the accelerometer sensor work? How does the MPU 6050 work? How does the accelerometer determine our orientation? How does it determine our location? How does it know when to navigate our phone from portrait to landscape or from landscape to portrait? Or when we open different apps and games, it fits to the screen. If the game is portrait, it places the portrait. If the game is landscape, it places the landscape directly. How does it track our movement? I don't have the answer. Okay, I'm just kidding. So let's move to the next step. Now that we already know about the MPCs or 50, so how does it work? So after all my research, and I've been researching for days and some days have gone by. So after all this research, it came to just one name, circling around one name, which is the piezoelectrical effect, or the piezoelectrical crystals, or the piezoelectrical materials, or the piezoelectrical device. The piezoelectrical crystal, let me put it that way, are devices that when squeezed, they produce electricity. So we have to have like two metal plates on the piezoelectrical crystal. That's a positive and a negative. So when it's squeezed, or in physics, then when it's stressed, it produces this amount of electricity. Piezoelectricity is highly used in electrical appliances and most of these devices that we use at home. So only like you squeeze piezoelectrical crystals, they produce electricity. So what is the inverse? What if you pass electricity through the crystal? What does it do? So once electricity is passed through the crystal, it actually squeezes itself and performs some vibration. So it's straight by itself and performs some vibrations. This piezoelectrical crystal is what? Quartz. Quartz, you will have heard quartz from quartz watch, quartz this and quartz that. This crystal, well, is common because it's not rare and it's made from sand. So as what I'm explaining will actually lead you to union why Silicon Valley is actually called Silicon Valley, because the sand that I used to make quads are very common, and I'll tell you by the end of this video. So I'm going to have the next video coming up on quartz watch. So if you want to see that video and you understand more of electricity and electrical crystals, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button and turn the notification bells up so you see when the video comes out, because I'll be explaining it more. So now back to accelerometers. What have we established? We have established the meaning of accelerometer, the meaning of gyroscope, the meaning of MPU 6050, and the meaning of quartz. What have we established? We have established the accelerometer, the MPU 6050, the quartz, and the meaning of gyroscope. So we all know what that is. Now, for the remaining reason, what is the tech behind? What is the mystery behind? What is behind this device that makes it work? That makes that when our phone is rotated or squeezed on a particular direction, it actually measures the physiological crystal is actually squeezed and produces electricity, which then sends this to the microchip. The microchip will then read the data or convert it or perform some tricks in there, some which will then configure it with the initial data given. That means if the initial data is about, like, let's say 5, if 5 means portrait, once it gets 5s back, it gives it portrait. If 7 means landscape, once it gets 7 back, it gives us landscape mode. So once that means when you're playing a game, and because no one will play in a game, it asks for access to your device. So when it has the access to your device, it knows which orientation it needs. If it needs 7, so you just give it the 7 orientation, the 7 being the landscape. Now that we know that an accelerometer is a device that is used for measuring linear acceleration, or an accelerometer is a device that is used for measuring linear acceleration. Now, the type of accelerometer we have in our phone is called the MEMS accelerometer. It's called the microelectric mechanical system accelerometer, MEMS accelerometer. They have what those people have done is make the accelerometer, make it smaller and make it like an integrated circuit. So how does this work? Move your phone from that particular direction and for particular place where it was. The mass extend. The mass allow the spring to extend with it, because as you move your phone downwards, it makes the spring extend with it, which then the capacitors, the fixed capacitance then measure the change in capacitance. Then anytime you move your phone from that particular direction and for particular place where it was, the mass extend. The mass allow the spring to extend with it, because as you move your phone downwards, it makes the spring extend with it, which then the capacitors, the fixed capacitance then measure the change in capacitance and give you the results of your skin orientation, whether from portrait to landscape and other stuff like that. Why the gyroscope measures as a rotational force, measure angular velocity and angular acceleration. So I think that's all for this video. Thanks guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. The part that takes care of the tilting and stuff like that and orientation mostly is the gyroscope. One, because the gyroscope has is like a device that just is like it is a device that keeps to a position even though the orientation is changed. If the if anything is changed, if you have watched all these videos, like when I took testing my gyroscope center, you have seen gyroscope device, the mechanical one, you have seen that it stays in the position. It's just like the first law of motion. A body will continue in a state of rest unless acted upon by an external force. So the gyroscope stays in a state of motion and stays where it is unless acted upon by an external force. Even though it's bent, it stays in that direction. So it's the same gyroscope that they use to determine the orientation of your phone, because you know that no matter what you do, it will stay the same, and they'll incorporate some other sensors to measure it